What's going on today, guys? Epic Snack Time here, back in another episode of Kerbal Space Program. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this series as much as I am. This game is absolutely amazing. And also, let me know by dropping a like or leaving a comment as far as if you like the video without the intro at the beginning. Sometimes people prefer that over 20 seconds worth of an intro that doesn't even pertain to what we're doing. So just let me know. Leave a like if you do enjoy it, and definitely leave a like if you're enjoying the series. It's great to see all the support for it. Let me see. Did we actually build our? Don't save. Did we build our moon, fairy moon orbit? I think we did. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I actually think that one works just fine. Is that the one that we had way too much fuel for? Pretty sure. Anyways, that should be okay. And we are getting a fairy Natarina. Alright. And trendy. It looks pretty trendy. He, she. I don't really know what kind of gender. Maybe they're just gender neutral. I really want to get Valentina some experience, so I may actually put her in this time. And anything else? No, no. I might need a. Let's see, this goes out how far? It doesn't actually say. Oh, there it goes. Um, 31.6. That's a million. Actually, we should be okay with just one of these. Nope, rotated it the wrong way. There we go. And actually, I may put that on the front side. Right where it looks like it should go. Alright, that should be just peachy. We'll go ahead and save that. Make sure our staging is correct before we do anything. All that goes, then that, then it breaks off, then this. Okay. Yeah, that should be just fine. Oh no, it has too many parts. Of course it does. It's probably why I took that off. Or why I didn't have that in the first place. Anyways, we'll try this again and let's see if we can get this big old thing into space and point it towards the moon. That is the goal. Let's go. Alright, and we are in orbit and we got our maneuver planned out, so we should be coming in around 129, 130,000 kilometers, I believe it is. Or meters. Meters. There we go. I'll get it right. Let's see if we can possibly get rotated around here to our maneuver node. I'll be so happy whenever we actually have Kerbals that can do all the, like I can just lock it to the maneuver node and it'll just go from there. But that'll come in due time. It does take a little while to get there. I think that's like level 3 or level 4. So it takes a little while. So let's see, let me scooch back over to my ship here. Go through all the little planets, there we go. And we'll scooch over here. So it says it should just take 18 seconds to do this burn. That seems a little off to me for some reason. But if it says it'll take 18 seconds, then that's just fine. Fast forward just a little bit, get within. So it needs 9 seconds on each side of the node, basically, to make it as perfect as possible. Of course, with my hands and all these maneuvers, I'm not that great. So we'll run it down to about there. It's 13 seconds. And we'll go right there. Should have enough fuel to complete this. Oh, and there's the moon. Hello, moon. We're coming for you. And if we don't have enough, oh, we don't. I'll just fire that one. This little terrier is great outside in the vacuum of space. So I'll try to keep pointed where we're at. And when we get closer, we'll kind of see what we're dealing with here. Let's see, coming in almost, and there we have an encounter. See, how close are we? Just a skosh more. There we go. That's about as close as I can get it. Cut that. Turn that off. And for whatever reason, we're still... Ooh, that's not the right way. I don't want to be inside the moon. That would not be a good one. That's not a good. Let's push it out to there, because for whatever reason, we're still going inside. Warp here. Make sure nothing crazy goes on. There we go. Let's actually cancel that for now. We'll get a crew report from here. Sure, it doesn't really do anything. But I will spin this around. And we'll see if Valentina can do an EVA. EVA report, sure. Board. Turn that back on. Flip you back up. Should just get her a little bit more experience, so that's not too bad. Let's go around here to where we're going to meet the moon. I think it'll actually auto-decelerate us once we get there, but we'll get a little bit into the sphere of the moon. Yep. And let's see, can we take a crew report? Oh, actually I've got to do this. EVA, take data, store data. We'll do an EVA report out here. Board with that. Turn SAS back on. And do another crew report. Okay, so nothing really comes back with that. And we'll go back out here to our map. Let's get into orbit of the moon, which doesn't take a whole lot. And it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect either. And because we've completed 2 parts, we've gotten the flyby of the moon, which we're here, so our little passenger people are happy. Our little Kerbals. So let's scoot on in here to about there. Shift it back over to retrograde. It says it's only going to take 13 seconds. Wow. We'll run time down just a little bit more because I am impatient. And just a tad more. Alright. That should be about good. We'll go ahead and execute this maneuver while we're here. Our timing is a little off, but as long as we get into the orbit, it doesn't matter. And that completes our goal. Good. We have entered the orbit of the moon. And we are in a stable orbit of the moon. You packed a toothbrush, right? Yep, sure did. Absolutely. We have, is that all of our contracts as far as I know? We just have to return, and then we will have everything done and done. Let's see, I wonder if we can get, I wonder where we're actually at. Crew report, we are still in high space. So we won't actually hit low space whatsoever. Um, but while I'm here, since I do have crappy signal, I will actually go ahead and shrink that down because we have plenty of fuel to get back home. That part I'm not so worried about. But I would like this to be down, uh, let's say about, yeah, that should, we'll push it down to about there. We'll warp around to this side here. And let's go back to our ship. Because we have plenty of battery, so I'm not really worried about the sun or anything like that. And I actually think this might have, it might have an alternator in it. I don't know for sure. Oh, well, actually, we're peeking out on the other side of the sun anyways. Oh yeah, sun's on that side. That makes sense. So, now that we are down here, is this a new crew report? Yes, it is. So that means one other thing. We'll do an EVA. Actually, first, we'll take the data, store the data, and then do an EVA report. Climb back in. Alright, you're back in there. Good, good, good. Now we have to plan our return home. You'll see that our orbital speed is dropping and our periapsis is climbing, but if you tilt back and forth between the prograde and I believe that's anti-normal, I'm pretty sure, it'll kind of fluctuate both of these while dropping your orbital speed, which will help once you go into re-entry, and it also pulls this down quite nicely. And so we'll actually tilt back over here because 30,000 is a little too low for us. Actually crank that up a little bit more, so it's going to make a more drastic change over here. And then once we get down lower in fuel numbers, then I'll kind of tweak it from there. Back down to about 30. Tilt it over. And all you basically do is just kind of sway back and forth. You can push that up, just make sure that you have enough fuel to bring it back down to where you're going to be inside the atmosphere enough to where you'll slow down and not skip out and go way out here. Which, as long as you're under about, I would say under 40 is fine. Anything over that, you kind of have more of a risk to bump out here. I'm actually going to cut that off for now. I'll warp to over here. Let that climb back up because it will. And then I'll turn that back on. I'll drop that back down. Hopefully, I want to try to get this pretty low. I want to try to get it at least under 1,000 by the time we come into orbit, but sometimes that doesn't happen quite as well as I want to. But let's see, we've got about 27, 28 units of fuel left. Only taken out at about a third per second, I think. We'll drop that back down a little bit. I'll cut that and I'll actually warp to over here because this will steadily go up. The closer you get to a bigger body, bigger mass, everything like that, it'll start to creep up a lot faster. Look, it's already over 1,500. So now we really need to chop this back. I'm actually going to drop that to about half because I need to bring this back down. And I might actually be over my intended area of where I want to be, but it won't be too bad. It's only at 44, so I mean it's not terrible. And we are just about to run out of fuel, so I'll boost it up there. And that's all for that stage. So we will do our classic little spin around, toss it off to the side, slow it down there, sir. I actually threw it ahead of me, which isn't ideal, but it's not the worst thing. And now I can just switch back over here. I'll actually warp to there through that because it kind of keeps us more so locked in a certain direction. And all we have to do is kind of, ooh, I forgot this thing is so light, it'll like spin all the way around super fast. So we'll make sure we get within, and we're still flying. So this is gonna, it'll take a few minutes for us to burn all this off, and I actually pushed it down a lot further than I thought. And that's still flying away from us, so that's good. Let's make sure, is there no crew report that we can get from here? Good. And I'll keep staying mainly retrograde. I'll fast forward, it'll kick us out of it once it hits 70. We'll be within the atmosphere. There's no music through the atmosphere, which is kind of bummish, because it's a really cool thing going through the atmosphere. 'Cause you get to see all this. This is awesome. And let's see. Yeah, we're on like the super dark side of the planet. Are we even gonna peek out to the moon, to the sun? I don't think so. Uh-oh, something's getting hot. We returned safely with our people. We have plenty of ablaters. So, I mean, we did kind of come in a little shallow and splash down, but that ablator handled it just fine. So we'll go ahead and recover that. See how much monies and science we got. It's all about the monies. We got 55 science from that, which is actually really nice. We got 96 science total. Got back quite a bit of funds, so we're doing good. Everybody got up to level 1, which doesn't really matter to me about these two because they're not going to be part of my crew, which is kind of bums me out because sometimes they should be able to, once they come back, like they should be able to say, "Hey, I want to be a scientist or a pilot or an engineer from this mission," and then that's it. Let's see, can we get anything with the science? We could get flight control, which just don't really use the mech jab. Small inline reaction wheels. Advanced construction. That's 93. It's got the decouplers, aerodynamics, not really worried about. Space exploration wouldn't be bad. Miniaturization, not super worried about that. I do eventually want to get this, so I guess I've got to get aviation. And then I'll go ahead and get the advanced flight control, or advanced flight controls over here. With the larger inline stabilizer, the lander cans, monopropellant, anywhere, RCS, tanks. And let me fast forward it to the next morning, and I will actually leave it there for today, guys. If you've enjoyed it, leave a like on the video, and hopefully you'll keep up with this series. It's a blast for me to play, and I'm going to try to put some newer games on the channel, hopefully coming around either later in the year, around Christmas time, or possibly towards the beginning of the year. I know about February I may be able to put in some extra games, because hopefully by then I'll get my gaming computer built and finished out and y'all actually enjoy that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys.